Daily Devotion with Pastor Balla for July 31st, 2023. From Philippians chapter 2, verse 23. I hope therefore to send him just as soon as I see how it will go with me. And I trust in the Lord that shortly I myself will come also. So Paul realizes he needs Timothy, but Paul also realizes he needs to send Timothy. And you get a little sense of that struggle. Paul also has an anticipation or an intention of himself visiting the people of Philippi soon. And as Paul is trying to discern when to send Timothy, he comes up with another line of thought. Verse 25, I have thought it necessary to send to you Epaphroditus, my brother and fellow worker and fellow soldier, and your messenger and minister to my need. For he has been longing for you all and has been distressed because you heard that he was ill. So besides Timothy, there's Epaphroditus. We really don't know too much about him, except for he was utilized by Paul, very, very faithful, considered to be like a soldier of the cross, so to speak. He almost died, as the next verse then alludes to, verse 27. Indeed, he was ill, near to death, but God had mercy on him, and not only on him, but on me also, lest I should have sorrow upon sorrow. I am the more eager to send him, therefore, that you may rejoice at seeing him again, and that I may be less anxious. So notice that Paul wants to send these people to the Philippians because Paul is concerned for their Christian welfare. And as Paul said at the end of the verse 28, that I may be less anxious. Here's a good question for Christians to ask themselves. Are we ever anxious about other people's spiritual welfare? Paul is, and is looking for reassurance. And so he's going to send these messengers who will eventually come back and reassure Paul that the people of Philippi are doing well. They are remaining steadfast in Christ Jesus. Verse 29, so receive him in the Lord with all joy and honor such men. For he nearly died for the work of Christ, risking his life to complete what was lacking in your service to me. So Paul wants the people of Philippi to welcome these, you could say, emissaries, so to speak, from Paul. Paul then names at the end of the chapter what was lacking in your service to me. Did the people or the saints of Philippi owe anything to Paul? Just as Paul is concerned for their spiritual welfare, so they also should be concerned about the spiritual welfare of Paul. Again, this goes back to the theme of why Paul says we need other professional church workers in the church and for the lay people to rise up and support these workers. As a pastor, I cannot do it by myself. I also need support from a caring Christian community because, again, the devil is constantly trying to pull the church apart. And the devil knows if the devil can get a church worker to trip up and fall under temptation and sin, the rest of the church would fall to easy prey from Satan. So we should be praying for one another, especially praying for the professional church workers, those workers who are teaching us about Christ. And as we're praying for them, we should also be asking the Lord to give us opportunities to help support them and the work and ministry of the church. God's peace and many blessings be with you. And thank you for listening. And please take an opportunity to share this message with others. If you have enjoyed these daily devotions, please consider making a donation to Peace Lutheran Church, 24024 West Main Street, Plainfield, Illinois, 60544. Thank you again for listening.